being a voice for local issues and also a voice for some of the big issues. So from Parliament we can still hold the government to account on things like climate change action and things like the East-West Toll Road, and then of course we have shared balance of power in the upper house to continue that, holding them to account.
It's really up to Daniel Andrews, who of course shunned the Greens during the election, to decide whether he wants to come out and start talking to us and negotiating to get his legislation through the Parliament. Sometimes we're going to want some small but important amendments before we pass a bill, and they need to talk to us about that. Just remember it was Dan Andrews who personally told you all at his farm in Wangaratta that he had personally ordered that we should put the Greens behind all of these other people, some of whom will be in the upper house, and also that he was going to have no deals, no discussions with the Greens.
The defeat of the coalition government in Victoria after one term in office has many asking whether the same fate could befall a federal government. Single-term governments are almost as rare in Canberra as in Melbourne, where this hasn't happened since 1955.
Wow.
Our political correspondent Greg Jennett has more from Parliament House.
There seem varying degrees of self-analysis today around that result. So at one level, there is a view that it doesn't change anything, that state issues and especially public sector industrial issues were very much to the fore in Victoria. There's another that chaos in a difficult parliament there reflects badly on the government of the day, more so than the opposition. So again, that's a view that kind of isolates the significance and contains it to Victoria. Yet in the midst of this, some federal Victorian Liberals do see some messages here for them. Now, Josh Frydenberg is a parliamentary secretary. He's from the ultra-safe seat of inner Melbourne called Kooyong, and he says there are some serious lessons to be learnt. Now, while he reckons Tony Abbott is a good communicator, he says the government's best, he says holding on to Victorian marginals will now have to be looked at in light of the state election defeat. Let's hear a little from Josh Frydenberg.
Certainly in Victoria, this result is a wake-up call, and there is work to do. And certainly, Dennis Napthine, he can hold his head high, and the coalition strategists will look at the result more deeply over the coming days and try to take whatever lessons there are to be learned from it, because we want to come back to power both in Victoria and maintain power federally.
Australian cricket captain Michael Clarke has